like to go ahead and introduce our next speaker, Chef Joey Macadangdang. He was born in the Philippines and he grew up in a family farm business, which was a piggery, poultry, and rice. His mom taught him how to cook rice at a very young age while his family was harvesting the rice. He migrated to Hawaii in Maui in 1983. And, at a young age of 14 years old, worked and started in the industry as a dishwasher at a place called Eric's Seafood Grotto. He worked his way up to a busboy and cooked at the restaurant in Lahaina, Maui. In 1987, he moved to Oregon and worked at Kampa Restaurant under Butch Ogawa in Hood River as a chef. In 1992, he opened the Blue Tropics nightclub and restaurant as the executive chef. In 1994, he joined Roy's Kahana Bar and Grill and eventually became a sous chef at Roy's Hawaii Kai in 1997. So he lived here on Oahu. Moved back to Maui and he opened Roy's Kihei as the executive chef in 2001. Joey joined the Cohen Group restaurant in 2004, and he opened the Pineapple Grill in Kapalua. And in 2006, he rejoined Roy's in the Kahana location as corporate chef of Maui, and later opened Roy's Kaanapali in 2012. So the restaurant is located in Kaanapali and has been there for about a year now. A year and a half. So he is please welcome to your school, Chef Joey Macadangdang, and he is the executive chef of Roy's Kaanapali.
Very honored.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We were going to try to show you photos of the restaurant, but we have photos of some food that we can go through later. We're going to ask Chef Cameron to stay up here so that this is a technique we learned at the Hawaii Food and Wine Festival. It's very fun to have the chefs play off of each other, ask questions, and this is a very informal, interactive, so raise your hand when you need to. So we'll keep Chef Cameron up here as well, but today's dish, he's going to explain to you now.
Okay, good morning. I'm very honored to be here. Thank you very much, darling. Darling. Anyway, today we're doing the authentic Thai soup, very spicy soup called Tom Yam Gai. There's two things in the two words of Tom Yam in Thai. Refers to Tom is boiling, and Yam refers to spicy sour salad. So we're gonna take on to the province of Isan. Northeastern side of Thailand. So the dish is made out of chicken stock. You could do it with just water. And we made a prick pao. It's basically a tom yum paste. You gotta make the tom yum paste before you can start with everything else. Otherwise, you ain't gonna taste the same. Okay, so we're gonna start with tom yum paste. I made these, it takes me about 5 hours to make this thing because I made about 2 gallons of it. So it starts with chilies, fiery chilies. Thai cooking is all about chilies, spicy, as far as you can reach the spiciness. Okay, so we started with chilies. We got shallots in here, we got garlic, we got vegetable oil, and tamarind, fish sauce and sugar. So when we make this prick paw is about by frying all the ingredients in separate times. Once that's been fried, you take it into a mortar pestle and you work it. You combine them together. Once all that combined with the tamarind, you're gonna go back into that oil and refrying it again until the oil start all evaporated. The juice is all evaporated, all incorporated, become a paste. So with my stock, we made a pork stock. It has to be a really lean meat to make this stock. So you don't have all this oil. Thai cooking is also about refreshing, lot of strong aromatic flavor, healthy stuff. Okay. So we made the chicken stock and pork loin. We take the lean parts of the meat of the chicken and also the bones. Discharge all fat from that. We take pork loin, take all the fat out of that, and we use that to just boil. Little onions, some kaffir lime leaf, lemongrass, and galangal is it's a ginger. It's a cousin of a ginger. This galangal is very very herbaceous, more of an anise flavor, peppery, fiery, and it's very hard. So while this is boiling, you say something?
No, I was talking about I was talking about galangal earlier, and it's very like he said, it has a lot of depth and different flavors. It's very hard and has some earthiness and ginger, but like I said, it's almost like touching your mouth to a battery. It's kind of has that metallic, anisey flavor.
Right. So.
What else would you do with that ingredient?
Chef?
It refers to what? Just the soup itself.
No, that particular ingredient.
Well, I had it in both of my curries. So probably anything from southern Thailand or even going up to northern Thailand, you'll find galangal all throughout the country. So they're going to use it in a lot of things.
Yes, a lot of these flavors are pretty much all entire Thailand.
Yeah.
It's just different variations of the cooking concept because there's 4 regions of Thailand that they have different type of cooking. Like Northeast Isan, they don't have coconut milk. They can get coconut milk. They got to go over the river to bring it into town. But a lot of it is all farmland, and it's the poorest area of the country. So they use everything when they do like chicken. They use every part of the chicken. Everything doesn't go to waste. So today we're making that soup, that authentic soup that take everywhere in the country. So this soup is, you can do vegetarian style. You can do anything, and you can put whatever you want to put in there. The soup is all about spicy, sour, salty, sweet in flavor. So you got those 5 components, and bitter. Have all those 5 components of Thai cooking. Meanwhile, so we are getting this stock to boil. We have bird's eye chilies, galangal, lemongrass, shallots, and kaffir lime leaf. We got bok choy and Thai basil, and also lime juice, fish sauce. Everyone knows those herbs, right? Let's jump in.
Go ahead, Chef.
So,
I'll jump in right.
first thing
I think
we
what
do-
Chef's saying is when he's saying you can use all these vegetables, there are some things that you don't want to remove from this soup, and he'll probably go over that. But also, he's also saying is like whatever you like to do, or whatever you like. If you don't like mushrooms, then don't put mushrooms in it. But there's a few things that you need to have in there that would completely change the sauce. So you'd have to have the few ingredients that he's talking about, but the vegetables you can probably switch up. Is that right, Chef?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. In my province in the Philippines, this is basically a sinigang. If you take the pepper out of this, it becomes sinigang, and you just add a little bit of pepper in there to make it spiced it up. It's the same concept. So first thing you do is you add the prick paw. Yeah, how spicy you guys want to eat this?
Spicy, right?
Crank it up. Crank it up. Let's just put it all in there. Why not? You guys need more? All the way up? So now the stock is boiling.
Now, Chef, after you're done with the soup, if you don't think it's spicy enough, can you add some more of that?
And then we're gonna add some more. I'm gonna taste whether how spicy this is. I love spicy food, so I don't know. You guys gonna try.
It sounds
That's
like
the only way you
spicy.
guys be able to try Thai food. So from there, we're gonna add all this aromatic flavor, the lemongrass, galangal. By the way, this is really, really hard, so you gotta try to make sure that you cut it real fine.
You want to make sure you have a very sharp knife. Again, having sharp knives are probably one of the most important things you do have in a kitchen. Believe it or not, if you have a dull knife, you're more likely to cut yourself. Okay? You want to make sure you have a really strong knife for cutting that galangal because it's very tough.
So I'm gonna put all this spicy. I'm gonna bruise it up so it gets all that oil out of there. Brings all that flavor out of the kaffir lime leaf.
Remember what I said, if you don't bruise it, you don't use it. That's what he's doing right here. He's bruising it, tearing it, and really releasing out the flavors.
You're gonna need a big hammer to smash that down. It's very hard to do.
Maybe we can pass it around. Chef, you mind?
Yes, you don't mind. Go ahead.
I passed around a few things. So when you take a look at it, you'll just feel it. You'll understand how hard it is, and it definitely, you would need a big hammer or just a normal hammer to pound that down.
To me, the soup is not spicy enough, so I'm gonna add more green bird chilies and red chilies and a little bit of jalapeno on there to make it more fiery.
Now, when you're working with something like jalapeno, or we'll just talk about jalapeno, but you can pretty much do it with most chilies. If you are heat sensitive or you don't like heat, you can take a jalapeno and actually haul out the seeds. There's not much spice in the seed. It's actually all in the veins. So if you really take your sharp knife and get those veins out of it completely, and you chop up that jalapeno, you'll be able to eat it right then and there in your mouth, and you'll still get that great jalapeno flavor, and in your mouth you'll be like, oh gosh, it's gonna get hot. Where's the heat? It never came, but it gives you that appearance of heat without the heat.
Correct. Now we're gonna add on, so we got all that aromatic flavors going on to that soup. We're gonna add some vegetables in here. This is oyster mushrooms that I shredded. I'm gonna put the chicken last because I don't want it to overcook. And we're adding some shallots.
Chef, can I pass these around too?
Sure. While I'm adding flavor in there, I'm tasting the flavor. Make sure it doesn't change.
This is the real color of the kaffir lime. So I'm passing around the real color of the kaffir lime. And again, if you want to take a test, you can bruise it a little bit, smell it before you bruise it, just crumple it up in your hand and then smell it, and it'll change everything. So this is the stuff, because like I said, I put all my stuff in my refrigerator in my hotel room, and everything froze last night. So all my kaffir lime leaf got brown, so I thought they'd like to see the right color.
Right. So now we're gonna add some Thai basil. I'm also gonna bruise this basil out. To me, this soup is still not hot. So we're gonna add more.
Mind if I get in there too?
Yeah, go ahead, taste it up.
Yeah.
Taste.
You see how he's building flavors and he's tasting it every time he puts another ingredient. He's probably gonna taste this, I don't know, 20 times before he feels it's right. And that's what makes you a good cook. And so many people cook at home and they don't taste it and they plate it and they sit down and eat it and like, oh crap, there's too much salt in it. You know, it's very important. Probably the most important thing you do in the kitchen is tasting your food from step one to right before you plate it.
Yes, this soup you don't really need a recipe. You could just taste it by your own flavor.
So
And it's all about sour.
Yeah. There's a lot of
adding
feel
some
with
fish
this sauce too. He's feeling it and tasting it, and he's just takes a lot of experience and what you like to really develop a soup, a wonderful soup like this.
It's getting there, so we're gonna add a little bit more there. Okay. So I had this friend of mine from Lao, Thai. He's a Thai Lao. He was trying to teach me about how to make this dish, because we don't make it to the restaurant. So I made the paste. He comes to my house. He brings a jalapeno and with a gochujang.
Yeah.
I said, "What are you doing with a gochujang?" He said, "I can't find pig prawn, which is this." I said, "I made that. I made it. So you don't need gochujang. That's Korean." So he's like, "Oh yeah, it's okay." So yeah, so these soups, they're supposed to be like orange color.
Now, Chef, do you always have that in your refrigerator at home? I would imagine you do.
I've been making this for about 2 months now. I always have chilies at home.
Right.
I always have fish sauce, soy sauce. Okay, so the flavor is there. And we're gonna add our chicken stock, and this will be the last one, is the bok choy. And it'll just take a few minutes because I don't want it to overcook. So meanwhile, this one is about to go.
You want me to get that going, Chef?
Sure.
At least bring it up to a boil.
Tastes really good. A little bit more fish sauce, a little salt. And we're gonna add this in. This dish is pow. You guys have any questions?
See how Chef was tasting his food? It's a great technique for you in the kitchen. So you never want to take your spoon, double dip, right? Eat, double dip, and eat, and just, you know. So he's taking a new spoon, pulling a ladle out, and then tasting from there, and then leaving his spoon aside. It's very sanitary, and the right way to do it. God, it looks great, Chef. Chef, are the proteins interchangeable? Whatever you like. Can you do pork? Can you
anything
do
you want. You can do anything. Pork, beef, whatever. But mostly done with chicken or goon is shrimp. But you can do whatever. It's versatile. You can put tofu in here. Mainly you eat this with rice.
Yeah. You eat that with rice, Chef? Rice?
Yeah, mainly sticky rice is good. That's the staple on the Isan area.
Normally in Thailand, they make the rice super really sticky. And if you didn't know this, in Thailand, I would say 1890, before 1890, they never used chopsticks. They didn't use forks. They didn't use spoons. They used their hands. Until early 1900s, fork and spoon were introduced. So prior to that, with the sticky rice, make really sticky rice, and they'd form it up in their hand, and they dip and eat, and they'd use that rice as almost like a utensil. So it's an interesting fact that they didn't have any kind of utensils pre-1900s. And they don't use chopsticks either. Well, I mean, depending on where you are, but mostly forks.
Do you do this kind of soup at your restaurant?
What's that, Chef?
Do you do this kind of soup at your restaurant?
Do I do a soup like this?
like that?
I do a Thai coconut soup. Nothing like this. It's certainly not as good as this one, but I do make a coconut soup. A lot of similar ingredients, but instead of the fortified chicken stock with pork, I use coconut milk, and I boil my chicken in the coconut milk with chicken stock, and that's my base, and then a lot of similar ingredients, and then it's a Thai coconut soup. And I put lobster and chicken and galangal in it, so similar flavor profiles, but definitely not as great as this one.
Right, you can also put coconut milk in this, and they would call it ginger coconut soup in Thai. So there's a lot of versatile on this soup. You can do anything with it. Fish, you sear the fish and you put the fish on top of that soup, it's great. But take a fish that is really firm, not something that's really soft, because otherwise it just overpower. Any questions? You can do srirachas. Most of this paste is available in the Asian market now, but a lot of them has MSG on it. So you could do sriracha, sambal, but the main ingredients to this is make sure you have fish sauce, a little sugar, and tamarind. If not, just lime juice.
You want to use small ones?
Yeah, it's easier for them to handle. Here.
Anything else? Shiitake works well. Can do shiitake, any kind of mushrooms, works well. The soup is mainly done with a lot of mushrooms.
Who taught you how to make this, chef?
YouTube.
Is that a family?
YouTube.
YouTube. You type prickpo or Tom Yam paste, it's all over. So I take a lot of information from YouTube or
Absolutely, that's a
internet,
great,
because that's a great thing.
great thing. Now, we're very lucky to be around at this time, and with technology, you can research anything, you can find any kind of recipe, anything you want, and I use YouTube too. If I don't know something, if I get one of those Four Seasons guests that are asking for whatever, you know, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm doing 300 covers. I'm working the grill, and I'll run over to the computer, and I'll just jump on YouTube, and I'll try to get the basis from it. All right, this is in it. This is in it. This is in it. All right, I can, and I'll try to figure it out. But YouTube's a great tool. Anything you want to learn, you'll find it. And what I find is, because, you know, let's just talk about like Chinese or Thai food. Just because you can't understand what they're saying, that doesn't mean that you should not watch the video, because we all know the basis of how to cook. So just turn it off and just watch them cook the dish. I mean, just because you can't speak Thai or you know, just watch the video. I know when I was younger, and I used to watch the original Iron Chef. Did anyone watch that? I used to watch it on PBS. And I just turn off the volume and just watch it, and it was just phenomenal. It was one of my favorite things to do after school, you know, is to watch the original Iron Chef, and I like that one better. But
Chef, somebody had asked what the red paste is. Is that like the red Thai chili paste that you can buy at the store? Or?
I use for this dish, for making this, because what's available around me, that's what I use. But you must taste the pepper before you start making it, so you can do the balance of flavor. So what I did is I took arbor chilies, dried arbor chilies, and Japanese chilies. A little bit more mild, arbor a little bit more spicy. So I would take more mild, at least 2-to-1, and you combine those two together to make that spicy that I want. How spicy should I want? You could do just straight spicy, and then however you want to make this paste is it's very easy to make. So as long as you toast all the ingredients together and you mash it together and add fish sauce and lime juice and tamarind, you're good to go.
The mushrooms, often see in Tom Yam Gai and other things for
Those
Thailand,
are-
they're kind of droopy like this.
Those are the, I think those are the
Which mushrooms?
straw mushrooms.
Straw mushrooms?
Yeah.
The gnocchis? Or
Straw mushrooms,
Their-
more
their-
like,
their tops kind of droop like this instead of standing out the way a button does.
I got more
They're
here.
like shaped like this.
not the
They
oyster
have a
shell?
really,
Like a meaty flavor? Or?
We can use that every
I'm not.
they have a very
picture it.
silky texture.
Huh. One thing I think it's very
I'm just gonna
important
put
for
this
new
next to
cooks people in your situation is it's very important. What I see, all of my culinary students, I hire a lot of them. I have about I only have 8 people on the line, and 4 of them came from the culinary school. 2 of them are currently in the culinary school in Maui. One of the common mistakes that I see them making is, and maybe you won't make this mistake, but I wanted to share it with you, is make sure when you're able to follow and read a recipe. It's very important. If you have 1 hour to accomplish one recipe, make sure you sit down for at least 10 to 20% of that hour and you sit and you read that recipe and you study the recipe before you make it. It's very, very important that you look at it. You don't just grab a recipe and start grabbing ingredients and running all over the kitchen. You need to read it, okay? It's very important that you read it and then follow it. Again, another thing that a lot of new cooks come in, and I'm not sure about you, chef, but a lot of the new cooks, they're always trying to think of great things and put all these weird ingredients together. I think it's very important to find the fundamentals. And that's why we're all here, to teach fundamentals. And we went to a great thing yesterday, and we're talking about the Côte d'Or. It's this great cooking competition. Were you guys there yesterday, some of you? We're talking about fundamentals. It's very important that you learn those fundamentals before you start moving forward and putting Thai basil with ice cream and doing all these weird things. You need to learn how to make the 5 mother sauces, and I'm sure you learn those things here, but it's very important that you learn the fundamentals and then build on those fundamentals.
Right. I mean, I had to go online just to find what it is Tom Yam Gai is all about, and I had researched so many hours on it to get into what is this Tom Yam Gai soup is all about, and this is what I came out with from just being on the internet and just looking at variations of the dish, the soup itself. Outcome, I hope it's tastes good as you guys tasting it.
You can see how passionate he is about this dish. I mean, he just said he spent hours studying a soup. I mean, that's passion, okay? If you're just gonna look up a soup and just read a recipe, make it once, and you think you know how to make that recipe, well, you don't, okay? You need to know where it comes from. You just need to study and become very passionate about what you're doing. If you're not passionate about cooking, or you're not passionate about this business that you're about to enter, then maybe we should go another route. You have to be passionate about what you do. And just hearing Chef talk about this soup and how he spent hours and hours on the computer researching it, that just tells you how passionate he is about food.
Question?
Anyone?
Any questions, anyone?
How is it? It's great, isn't it?
Is it good?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Are you guys sweating yet?
Yeah. See, it's got such a good, wonderful spice, phenomenal.
I can't.
Compare your food to other. Have you been
I have
there?
not been to Thailand, so that's the reason why I had to bring my friend in my house, but he's giving me little misinformation sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's good. He actually showed me how to make it, about the boiling process and and all that, and how spicy it should be. And I almost choked when he made it way too spicy.
It brings an interesting point. Like, you have one of the best chefs in Hawaii right here, and he asked his friend to teach him how to make something. And there's a lesson in that. There's a very big lesson in that. And no matter who you are or what you do, you can learn from everybody. Some of the best food I've ever eaten and learned how to cook are from my dishwashers.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down.
Hands down when
Some
they
of
make
the
their
best
employee
food that
meal.
you will ever eat, you find that dishwasher and you have them cook for you, it's amazing. And I've just absorbed everything from anybody, the people on your left, on the right, whether it is like they can teach you how to hold a knife or to make a 12-course meal. You have to be able to absorb that information. Again, it's one of the most important things you do is act like a sponge and absorb everything and anything that you can learn. Okay? And don't be afraid to ask questions, because I promise that shy, quiet dishwasher that's sweating back there, working his ass off, he's a good cook. I promise you. I haven't met a dishwasher that didn't know how to cook amazing food, so.
Right. Perseverance is number one too.
Absolutely.
I didn't know how to be a chef or to become a chef, but when I had the opportunity to be asked to be a chef at a nightclub, I didn't know about food costs, I didn't know about cooking techniques, I didn't know about French. But I went and did it anyway, and I said, okay, I'll
Figure it out on the way.
I'll figure it out on the way. And if you have this group with you and they're gonna show you exactly what you do, that partnership makes you a good chef.
Anything else? Thank you very much,
Thank
Chef
you. I was
Joey
honored to be
Macadangdang.
here. Appreciate it.